Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is an automatic XP farm capable of generating just under 140,000 XP per day. Let me show you how to make this and the materials you need. But first, I gotta do that YouTube thing. Less than 10% of you are actually subscribers. I hope you'll consider clicking that button, and depending on when you're watching this, there may even be a join button, which I will hope you will consider. But let me also tell you what version we're playing with right now, and this is the 20W11A snapshot. In the 12A, they nuked zero tick. So this will work from Java 1.13 through 1.15 up to the last snapshot, not the current one, and unless they change something, this will not work in 1.16. So you need to build this now to get your maximum enjoyment and use out of it before upgrading to the 1.16 where this will not work. Now let's go through some of the more specific numbers, and you can see that down here. Each cactus, and these are the cactuses right here, this is a pod of 4, but each cactus itself is producing 1,500 per hour, which makes it 6,000 for the pod. That means you can generate up to 144,000 per day at 6,000 per hour. But that would require 16.6 furnaces, and we only use 16 to not waste any fuel, which brings our number down to 138,000 per hour, or a little bit over that. Now that smaller number is still enough to go from 0 to 30 99 times, or from 27 to 30 over 450 times, and those are both per day if you get your timings correct. Now if you want to just use it for bone meal, that pod of the 4 cactus will get you 429 per hour, which is over 10,000 per day, and that translates to 161 stacks per day, or just about 6 chests. Again, you need to stock up before 1.16. And let me turn this off before it gets too much annoying. As for the materials, they're in 3 different categories. This uses a 3 game tick clock, which is actually basically a double zero tick generator. And these are the materials you need for that. Some of these you can swap out, obviously, including the smooth stone. You can use any full block that you want. This is what you need for the pod. These are temporary right here. And again, some of these you can swap out, and we'll go through that as we go. And then these are the materials you need for your XP farm itself. This is rather hopper heavy. You can change it into a water stream if you want, and I'll link a couple of videos towards the end and in the description to show you how to do that. And this just uses the powered rails with a minecart with chest to not have the fully automatic fuel. I'm just using some blocks of coal here. You can of course hook up the shaky sand bamboo or the zero tick bamboo up instead, and also use a water stream, and that'll be shown basically in the same video that I'm talking about. And then at the end, this is your automatic dispenser or your automatic dropper to get rid of your green dye. You can replace all this for a couple of chests to hold the green dye if you want to do anything with it. And then this is, as the sign says, everything you're going to need for the build. And I'll just wait here for a second so you guys can gather the materials if you want, or you can take a screenshot. And let's get those into the inventory and get started. Let's find a nice open spot. Come on over here. And then you are going to want to go a bit into the air, because we are going to drop down a bunch. So let's get rid of these. And the first thing you want to do is set up your zero tick generator. So you want to come over 2, and then up, and then over, so it looks like that. And then you're going to want to have a space in between, so if you can see how these line up. and then 2 up, and then back in. So this is your framework. You're going to put regular pistons facing up. You're going to want one side to have a sticky piston directly underneath that piston, and then one side to be a regular piston facing into each other. We're going to have some redstone coming around like this. Now I like to make my off switch like this. There are a couple of ways you can do it, but this is the one that I prefer, with some redstone right here, and then 2 more sticky pistons facing down just like that. And then you're going to put your redstone block on the inside, and you will see that this starts going back and forth. And then to turn it off, just click that button. And you can put redstone on this and connect this lever to wherever it is that you want, and it will keep going. Now, to get your pulse, and you can use glass, I'm just going to use some smooth stone to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on. And you can connect your redstone line. Now you do want to check this is on the sticky piston side. You can see we're coming around, and just make sure that that does activate the piston. Sometimes it won't, like that, and if that's the case, then what you're going to want to do is come to the other side and do it. Sometimes with these 0 ticks they can be a little bit finicky, so try putting that on the other side, and you will see that will work. It's typically the side with the sticky piston is the one that works, but as you can see, that's not always the case. So we can destroy this, and we'll know that we're going to go on the other side. Now again, you do want to try this before you build the rest of it. If for any reason this doesn't work, try moving this to a different location and give that a try. So now in terms of where we need to measure, we know, and this is just going to be some temporary blocks, that this is where the piston extends into, which means we want the cactus to be right here on the side, which means that we are going to want the sand to be right underneath, right there. So we're going to want to put our top half slabs right there, so that when everything lines up properly, we have our sand. And then if this is not here, so we can actually place this down, then we can place down our cactus, and that will work. And again, you can make sure this does work to see if this will fast grow your cactus. And as you can see, it does. Perfect. Now we're going to have to destroy that for now though, because we're going to need to put some stuff there first. But we're going to want to surround this just like that, because we want the piston to be surrounded by the cactus. And we're going to want to push some of these mine carts with hoppers into them. Depending on what version you're playing, you may need to come out an extra. If you're playing in the most recent version, then the rails will actually face the way that you're facing. In the older versions, they won't, so you'll want to get this extra rail right here. Now, in the middle, you're going to want to put a chest. It's very important that you use a chest and not a full block, because if you put a full block, this will not work. A chest is not a full block. You can see there is a 1 pixel gap in there, so we're going to use that to properly line up our mine carts with hoppers, and we're going to push them in to that chest. And we're going to do that on all sides, like this. And once that's, I didn't do that right. Once that's done, we can destroy these extra blocks. And then you do want to be sure to destroy the rail, or the next part won't work. So destroy the rails under all 4 of them. And then we're going to drop sand on top of them. If you didn't destroy the rails, the sand would pop off into an item. And that is obviously not what you're looking for. Now you can grab one of your hoppers and put it right under there. Now you can test that this works. This won't work because if we throw something on there, it won't end up in the hopper. And that's because you do need to destroy this chest now, and you will see that the items do go through. So now we know that works. And then we're also going to want to box all of this in to make sure that we don't lose any cactus. So I'm going to use a temporary block like this. So we know we need to destroy these glass blocks before we're done, but we want to make sure that we hide them. So this glass block, destroy that, and then we're going to put it like this, destroy that, and then we're going to do this one first so it doesn't get lost, and then like this, and destroy that, and now they're all properly boxed in. And you'll see if we turn this on, you can see the cactus is fast growing. The items are popping up, they're popping back down, but they're getting caught by the hopper minecarts and filling up this hopper, which is exactly what we want to see. And that's a rate of technically just over 6,000 per hour. The numbers that I gave you are based on the zero-tick fast growth, but you'll also get a little over 3 from your normal growth, and that's not taken into consideration. Now the surplus here doesn't matter, because if these ever fill up, then the items will just pop up, pop down, and break on the cactus itself. So you do have item overflow protection, which is very helpful. Now, I built this directly going back under, but you don't have to. You can build it out in any direction. You're going to want to build out 16 furnaces. So we're going to count here, and this is going to be the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I'm going to just put one more, and that's the one that we're going to point the hoppers to. So now we're going to make this hopper line with all of these hoppers pointing into the next hopper all the way through. And now we can grab our furnaces right here. And for these furnaces, you're going to come down one under these. So you do need to have one space in between, and count those out as well, just to make sure you counted these properly. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And this worked up because everything lined up properly. If it didn't, it's not that big of a deal as long as it's in front of this line. If it's behind this line, you want to destroy that and bring an extra. So now you don't need to count anymore because everything's already done. Just point a hopper directly into the top of all of these furnaces, and then also point one into the back of all of these furnaces, just like this. Now you're going to put a full solid block. Don't use glass. It has to be something solid to make sure it bounces on both ends, like that. And then we're going to put a lever on both ends as well, and we're going to connect them through powered rails. There are, of course, a couple of different ways to do this, but this is one of the most straightforward and easy. And then we can turn that side on, and then we can get this started here by grabbing, not this, we need this guy right here. We're going to put it down. We're going to fill it up with your fuel of choice. You can, again, hook this up to an automatic fuel system if you want. Those links will be in the description. And that'll bounce back and forth, and it will slowly fill up all of these. And you'll see there will be some items burning, and that's because all of the backup from here managed to make its way all the way to the end. It'll take a little bit while for the rest of them to get started because hoppers are greedy, and this hopper is going to try and take all of the cactus for this furnace before it'll let you get any over to the next one. Now for our item disposal, we're going to want to grab a dropper, just like this. And we're going to put our dropper going down this way. So point it down one underneath. So it's pointing down right next to it. And now we're going to hook up a line of hoppers underneath all of these furnaces that all point, as you can see, over to our dropper. And now we were going to want to take a read from this dropper in order to make an automatic system. So let's get this. Let's get our comparator back, and we're going to need our observers, which are hiding up here. So we're going to make a measurement right here. We're going to use a top slab. Now we are also going to bring top slabs all the way around this, and then even a top slab underneath, and that's for item disposal, which is going to be lava, but I won't put that in that so that you can see that this is working. We're going to take a comparator, and we're going to take a read from the dropper. That is going to then feed into a sticky piston, and then that sticky piston is going to have an observer on it facing in this direction, and then one facing in this direction. And you can reset this by pulling out all of this, and then it will be plenty fast. And you'll see that when there is an item in the dropper, it will jump up and automatically spit them out. And then our lava is right here in order for us to put that just like that. I think it has a nice effect when it's a half block. You can use glass, of course, as well. That'll make sure that all of the items are disposed of. You can also, as I said, just hook this directly into a chest and store that green dye. Just make sure that this doesn't fill up all the way. And then we can kick this into gear, and you will see that this will slowly but surely start to fill up. Now you can help it along a bit, and what you can do is, if you see that this has some cactus in it, you can take a block and fill this up. Now I'm going to grab some wood just as a nice little chunk block. There'll be some stripped wood, and you know what, I'm going to change that. What I'm going to do is actually grab a fish, and the reason that I'm going to grab a fish, call it a cod, and we're going to make it a raw cod, is it's something that will cook in case you have any issues. If you fill up these 4 items, then the cactus will fill up, and you're blocking these 4, which will allow for this next one to get there sooner. And then I'll help that along, and you'll see that the next furnace will light up. When the next furnace lights up, you can also fill that up with cod. And then as soon as this gets full, you'll see it back up into here. And then when this gets full, again, it will move over to the next one, and you can again do the cod. The reason I'm doing cod is because if for any reason you turn this machine off and you have some sort of an issue, the raw cod will also get burned, so it won't jam the furnace like different junk items will. So just take that into consideration with your junk items, or you can just leave it alone and it will slowly fill on its way. And the way you get the XP out of these farms is to grab a lever. It doesn't have to be a lever, but you just need a way to lock this hopper. So the way that I like to do that is putting a lever on the face of a furnace. You turn it on, and what that does is locks this hopper. So you'll see that when this item cooks, it won't get pulled out. You see right like that. If you pull this item out manually, you will get all of the XP that this furnace has saved since the last time a player manually pulled out an item. Just be sure to turn the lever back off so that this does drain, or else this will get jammed and you won't generate any more XP once it fills up. You can either break that lever and take it on, or you can put levers across the face of all of them. Now, this is expandable, so as I showed in another video, which I will link to as well, you can connect 3 of these pods like this. So all of those hopper outputs, instead of going directly into the hopper line that feeds the furnace, will go into a dropper, and at 18,000 per hour, and that's what you get when you have 3 of them combined, because each one of these pods of 4 is 6,000. So 3 pods together gets you to 18,000. That is the perfect amount. That is the maximum capacity of this particular auto dropper. And you'll see if I turn this on, you will start to get a absolute flood of cactus coming through. And I accidentally jammed this, so let's put that back together. And then you do need to take it out so that it's moved into place, because if you place the observer, it's not as fast. And you can see that it is going to go up very, very, very slightly, and that's just based on the natural growth as well. But again, that's not a problem. This does have overflow protection. This will kick out 18,000 cactus per hour. Now, that is the perfect amount for my 18,000 XP per hour furnace farm build. And I will, of course, also put a link in the description and in the iCards right now. And that will show you how to build something that can handle this much cactus. And that is based on water streams, because the hopper lines are not enough. Hoppers top out at 9,000, so you can't do that. You need to use the water streams for something this fast. And you can use this for the cactus side input in that farm that I will link. Or you can keep it just like this. And again, you can make another pod and keep it just this build simple. So again, if I were to take this and just drag it out like here, you do want to make sure that you are within the redstone range, and take another. You will see that you will have the same, pointing it down, way to generate additional cactus. So you can extend this line in any direction you want, including turning the corner this way and stretching that redstone signal like this, and make another pod and make another set just like this. And that's all there is to it. And if you put this in your spawn chunks, it will run as long as you are in the overworld, or if you have a server, it'll run 24/7, as you do not need to be within the random tick range for this to run. So just make sure that you leave it with enough fuel. This guy's probably out, so you can turn that lever off and refill with whatever your fuel of choice is. Turn that back on and send it on its way. And you will see, if you use a dense enough fuel, it's not really a problem. You can go a lot farther than this just using this system. So then pull out your XP as needed. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like. For more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. And thanks for stopping by.